I grew up in rural Oregon, outside of Astoria, Oregon, and we had a little um, 1 acre parcel in between two big farms, 100 acres on each side. So we spent a lot of time outside in the woods. We didn't have TV or anything like that. And so I just spent a lot of my childhood, building forts. And um, even before that, my dad did forest patrol. So he would go around on the weekends. It was a weekend job, and he would um, patrol the like logging equipment and stuff, make sure that nothing was being vandalized. Um, and I would spend my days riding around with him, 3, 4, 5 years old, and we'd bring hot chocolate, and I, um, we'd go stop by a little stream or have a picnic or whatever. So some of my earliest memories are of being outside and um, doing that with him, or camping, or things like that. So I think it was just kind of my childhood and a foundation that was laid of you know spending a lot of time outside. I didn't really think it would become a career until later in high school when a counselor mentioned it to me, mentioned the Oregon State program, and um, I just thought, oh, perfect. It seems like a great fit. And, I feel like I could say I've had a whole lifetime of time spent in the woods. And even to this day, I still um, feel my best, probably, my calmest, and more at peace when I'm outside. Fresh air and the green. Green's my favorite color. um, yeah, there's really nothing better than that. Yeah, at the end of high school, I had the opportunity to work on a seasonal firefighting crew. So my senior year, the summer of my senior year, I um, worked on a wildland firefighting crew with ODF and ended up doing that for 2 seasons. And that was even before I had started college. So during college, I interned for Willamette Industries in the summers as an engineering intern. And after fast forward to after college, got hired pretty quickly at ODF in Astoria, and I did a lot of different things for them. But the most the most years were spent working with threatened and endangered species on the Clatsop State Forest. So I planned all the surveys, spotted owl surveys and marbled murrelet surveys, and actually also like salmon and fish surveys for the Clatsop State Forest. So I did that for around 15 years for them. So I worked with a lot of biologists, delineating habitat across the forest. I got to go on some spotted owl surveys, and we moused spotted owls. So I had a lot of wonderful experiences learning, because my degree and my training was not in biology, but I ended up learning a lot about it um, because I was the only one on the district that had really held that role for that long. So um, yeah, it was a wonderful learning experience, and got to do a lot of great things that only a few of us did. There was a couple biologists and me, and we would go, um, you know, search out that one tree, that one limb, that one nest, whatever it might be, in the middle of 150,000 acres. So, yeah, it was great. About midway through my career in forestry, it was shortly before the pandemic. My husband has a few businesses, and we got so busy that I was being pulled in a lot of different directions, and decided to take a step away from working um, in the natural resource field and work in our family businesses, which are home construction, and we also have some fishing boat operations in Alaska and here out of Astoria. So that, along with our 3 kids, take up my time these days. And I, had never heard of Oregon Women in Timber somehow. And after being out of that forestry world for a couple years, I came across Oregon Women in Timber somehow. I don't remember who introduced me, but we started a local chapter in Clatsop County, and I'm the president now of that. And it's just been a great fit, great timing for me to still get to interact with, different people in that field. And there's a lot of like-minded, either women and men, who are a part of this group, and we focus on education, mostly of younger kids, kindergarten through 8th grade. And so I've just really found it's a nice outlet. I can still spend time thinking about forestry and learning about forestry, and even though it's not my day-to-day job anymore. So I've really loved being a part of Oregon Women in Timber, and we really hope to keep our chapter going for a long time. It's a good fit for our area. It might sound kind of weird, but I don't feel alone when I'm in the woods. I feel at peace when I'm in the woods, and I feel somehow I've gathered a confidence of, being out there, understanding what goes on, and on the North Coast we have, we don't have a ton of different species out in the North Coast. There's a few main ones, tree species, but I don't know. I feel a real confidence and grounding when I'm out in the woods, and it's a special place, and I really would love to introduce more people to our forests, so they know what goes on out there, and they know a little bit more. A lot of people just aren't exposed to nature or the woods like I have been, and so I'd love to share that with others, and that probably sums it up, I suppose.